You already know what to do, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be avoiding it. I'm Luke. Today, we're making a complex argument seem simple with 5 steps. What it is, what I learned, how I applied it, what you can learn from it, and how to apply it in your own life. You already know what to do, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be avoiding it. It is a simple argument. Avoiding means not doing it. If you didn't know what to do, you just wouldn't do it or think about it at all. And the key is to first understand what to do. Today, I played golf, so I'm going to use a lot of golf examples instead of previous history. And I even applied this lesson today. Today, I shot 79. Wasn't my best round. I had 4 bogeys and a double on the front, and then I had a double on 11. We played at Whirlwind Golf Club, and then I finished the last 7 holes 1 under par, but I probably should have shot 4 under par. On the front, I was indecisive about how to set my feet and how to turn my body through the ball. I hit a ball out of bounds. I was also indecisive about how to play my wedges, and it had ample effects on my score. I only had 1 3-putt today. It was easily avoidable, and unfortunately, it was on a par 5, where I made the green in 2 on a 580-yard par 5. But that's not a knock on my game. That was more of a mental battle where, with a downhill putt, I didn't hit it hard enough, and then I lipped out for birdie. Today, on the last 7 holes of the round, I actually applied knowing what to do. There were 2 particular shots where I knew what to do and I did it. One was a 360-yard par 4 going up a hill, and I already knew what to do before swinging the club. So for me, since it was swing as hard as I could, take a wide stance, tuck your elbow in on the backswing, turn my shoulder through the ball, and finish with my hands high. And I processed that in steps before the swing, and then I did it. This was a stark contrast to the 5th hole, where I made a double on the front. It was a par 4. And left my hands open because I didn't turn my shoulder through the ball. So, ball sprayed out of bounds. These small mental cues are knowing what to do. But if you didn't know what to do, you wouldn't have thought of, make sure your hands are square, you turn your shoulder through the ball, finish with your hands high. These pre-swing thoughts would never appear. You already know what to do when you do these things. And if I thought them through and decided to avoid them, which sometimes you do, like for example, trying to hit some crazy stupid shot, then you're going to be seeing the consequences of not doing what you already know to do. In golf, for example, your best golf is always played when you don't think. Or my best golf is always played when I don't think. And these cues become subconscious with a good routine and flow of the game. There was another par 4 where I had a 90-yard wedge in, and this was immediately after the hole where I hit the ball out of bounds. I pushed it right, and then I had a downhill greenside chip, and unfortunately, my only thought was don't blade the ball. Sometimes when you tell yourself don't do this, you're going to fight as hard as you can to not do it, and I just decelerated, and the ball went maybe like 3 feet. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to putt it instead of just hitting a better wedge shot, and missed the putt. And it was a dumb bogey because I could have just done what I know what to do, which is hit the ball. What I learned from the front was to do what I already know what to do, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be avoiding the obvious truth. When you already know what to do and then you just do it, it's even easier. For example, the last hole of the day, I hit my best shot of the day. I had 140 in, and there was a bunker all the way in the front that I had to carry. So I pulled out an attack wedge, and I said, I'm going to sling it. And for me, a sling is when the ball really moves a certain direction. So when I want to hit a draw, I tilt this shoulder back a lot further. I swing it the same, and then I just think about putting my hands in my pocket. And the ball has side spin from right to left. I slung it. I already knew what to do, and I did it. And I hit it to 8 feet, and then unfortunately, I lipped out on the birdie putt, hit it with a touch too much pace on a left to right putt, but it still ended up with a par. It just felt amazing to hit a sling across a bunker like a 15-yard draw when you're a fade player and doing what you already know what to do. If I didn't know what to do, I would be avoiding the idea of a sling, and instead I would be hitting the ball straight, which probably is a better decision, but very much so goes against my argument. For example, if you're in the middle of taking a test, you already know what you study to go into the test and answer those questions that could help you get a better grade. If you choose not to study, then you don't have the knowledge because you avoided the best end outcome for yourself. It applies in all aspects of life. For example, if you are on a diet, you already know what to do. Follow it. However, a cheeseburger might sound really good when you're in the middle of a calorie deficit, and eating that cheeseburger is something that you could avoid to help yourself maintain your goal. However, you wouldn't be avoiding a cheeseburger if you weren't on a cut. Instead, you would just eat a cheeseburger. So you already know what to do. Don't eat the cheeseburger. Another thing, when you already know what to do, you are able to do the thing easily with practice and time. it just becomes habit to do what you already know to do. I'll give you another example. So I have a friend who comes to me for sales help and asks me, Luke, why didn't this call go well? Why didn't that call go well? And I'm no world-class salesman. Let me say that. But I am knowledgeable enough to understand how to move a call because I've had a lot of them, and it is a practice skill. And he already knew what the qualifying questions were that he wrote down that worked previously. He already knew what pain points that he wanted to elaborate on further, and he already knew which ones would be pointed enough to move a sale forward. He chose to avoid the question because he focused more on the report. He already knew what to do. And when I looked at the call, I just told him straight up, why didn't you ask the questions you already know to ask? He said because he was afraid of not keeping the relationship. Even more proof that you already know what to do, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be avoiding it. He wouldn't be avoiding asking those questions if his only goal was to make a sale. He just didn't ask it in the right way. One more example that could apply into your life is if you are playing a game. Let's say you're playing poker. Poker is a very mathematically based game. In order for you to make the right bet, the right decision, you must understand the odds before playing the game. If you choose not to play by the math because you are utilizing your instincts, in many cases those instincts are right. An observation outweighs the mathematical outcomes that could happen from a scenario. But if you do this consistently and you play against the math, you are more than likely going to lose because you're not mathematically giving yourself the best chance to win. You already know what to do. In many cases, if you're chasing 7-2 and somebody's betting 3 times the size of the big blind from under the gun, you're likely to fold that. But if your guts are saying don't fold the hand, then you're probably in an unlikely position to win. However, I'm not going to say it's impossible because I have seen some ridiculous things when playing poker. Now, what you can learn from this is that the fear of not doing it is going to get greater and greater as you choose to not do it more and more. You already know what to do. It's like a wall that you put in your mind. If you choose not to do the thing, you already know what to do. It will become more and more difficult to start doing a thing that you have chosen not to do. And that's okay. It takes time for us to learn these things. It's not immediately necessary in many situations to always do what you already know what to do. But it's much harder to come back from after you do it multiple times, because then not doing what you already know to do gets in your way of being who you want to be and being who you are. Many people choose not to be ambitious, and that's okay. But they also limit who they are as a person, and that's also okay. Real question you have to answer when you already know what to do, but you choose not to do it is this how you really want things to go down? Is this who you say you are? Is this going to make you who you want to be? Why, in your right mind, would you make this decision consistently? And many people can't answer that question transparently. I will conclude this argument by saying life is fun when you do what you want to do. And if you already know what to do, you're halfway there. Now, the real question is this who you want to be? See you on the next one.